Good morning and welcome to the second day of Midrasha, the second week of Midrasha, sponsored this week by the Newman family for Besorot Tovot and Refuah Shelema for Yosef Ishai ben Daniel Miriam. Bezrat Hashem, that he should be healthy, have great news today, Bezrat Hashem, and continue to spread the light of Torah the way he and his family do. Ad 120 Bezrat Hashem. Okay, we're going to start this day with our program. Our program is we start now by awakening our neshama. So this is a class where we're going to get to know who we are. What is our neshama? Hello and welcome. You don't need to say sorry. You arrive when you can. Don't worry, my love. And we're just starting. Okay, so we're going to read a chapter of Tehillim for our sponsor this week and for all the people who need a refuah, including Laurence Aviva Bat Sarah, Raphael Yaish Ben Chana, Caroline Yehudit Bat Joël Eliane Sima, Eleni Orna Batren Chana, and we have a last one, a young mother who just gave birth and has been diagnosed with meningitis. Her name is Lisa Sarah Bat Joyce Esther. May she and her baby have a good health, Bezrat Hashem. אשרי האיש אשר לא עלה בעצת חשעים, ובדרך חטאים לא עמד, ובמושב לצים לא ישב. כי אם בתורת אדוני חפצו ובתורתו יהג יומם ולילה, והיה כעת שתול על פלגי מים, אשר פריו ייתן בריתו, ורעהו לא ייבול, וכל אשר יעשה יצליח. לא כן הרשעים, כי אם כמוץ אשר תדפנו רוח. על כן לא יקומו רשעים במשפט, וחטאים בעד הצדיקים. כי יודע אדוני דרך צדיקים ודרך רשעים טובת. So, how was your week? Good? Yeah? Someone is davening, so she'll answer after. I'm very excited to start this class. So, if you open your binder and if you're on Zoom or you watch that replay, you should know that you can print and make yourself a binder also at home with all our classes. And this class is called Awaken the Neshama. Okay, so it's a class where I want to invite you and us, by the way, because me too, to reconnect with a part of ourselves that is essential, that is the what keeps us alive. Because when we think about it, when does life start and when does life end? Life starts when a neshama enters a body. That's when we consider that there is life, right? And when do we say clinically and spiritually also that there is death? When the neshama separates from the body. So today, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to speak about life and to understand what is our life and how we can reconnect to that essential part of ourselves that is called the neshama. Okay, so we're going to learn to connect to that. We're going to do a little meditation also to get in contact with it, try to get in contact with it, Bezrat Hashem. I already did my bracha. Okay, this class, part of it actually, today's class, is based from a book that is really an amazing book by Rabbi David Green. He's a Chabad rabbi, and he presents in a very interesting way a picture of our soul. So you have beautiful pictures, and at the same time you have very deep concepts of Kabbalah, Zohar, Hasidut. So it's very Very interesting. My friend, my sister-in-law got it to me, I think last year for my birthday. Okay, so today we're going to speak about that part of ourselves, and I called that class the light within. Okay, so we're going to see why. Have you ever sensed your soul? It's difficult because we're not a lot who can speak right now. Have you ever, how do you experience your soul? If you were to describe it, how would you be able to experience your relationship with your soul? How do you feel it? How do you know we have a soul? How do we know we have a soul? You can say it in French if it's easier, and I'll translate. But in English.
Good or not good, you feel your soul because you connect directly to the only solution.
Okay.
This is the solution. So
how does it talk to you, that solution? Is it a voice? Is it an instinct? Is it something? It's physical. Okay.
It's physical.
Okay.
I feel something.
You feel something. Where do you feel it?
In my heart.
In your heart. Very interesting. I like that. What else? You want to add something, Michal? No? Sarah, you want to share?
I personally, I think that I feel my soul in more like negative situation where when I feel shame for something that that maybe society wouldn't feel shame for, but that is something that I feel like goes against my core beliefs as a Jew.
Oh, I hear you.
You know,
Beautiful.
when I feel, not even just for myself, but maybe when I see someone or when I see something that happens and I'm like, and it's not judgment, but it's a visceral reaction to it.
So it's visceral, it's physical for you too. I know that.
Also in a good situation when you can hear a good music with a lot of Midrasha or something, you feel like, I would say,
Butterflies
butterflies
in your tummy. So, Sarah, what you said is that somehow it's something that you feel visceral within you, right? Within your body, that is like creating a boundary between your core values and the society you live in and the rest of the world. That's beautiful. I love that. But at the same time, you also agreed when Michal said that sometimes in positive moments, like when you listen to a music, what do you feel when you listen to a music?
Yeah, I think also maybe music, but also when I see a community and Baruch Hashem, lately our community has been very like has a need to connect more than ever before. Maybe I don't know about like a positive feeling within me, but a feeling of connection is created, and I don't think that just comes from my brain. I think that has to do with something bigger because there's people I don't know that will feel connected to, that I've never met, that I've never even spoken to, that I think maybe on a daily basis in my real life I wouldn't even interact with.
Yeah.
But you're like, I feel a connection to this person. I don't know why, but they're also a Jew and they're also part of Israel, and I feel like there's something that draws us together. And for me, that's for sure, that has to come from your soul.
From your soul. It's not from your brain. It's something that makes you a part. You feel like you belong to those people, and that you care for those other people, not because of who they are in their life, but as a person, but as a neshama. You feel that you're connected on a higher level. Beautiful. I love that, Sarah. What about you, Milan?
Yeah, I love what she just said. And so it's like the connection and also the good and the bad. It's
Okay.
like to feel what's like something is that you feel it that it's bad. I guess it's the soul, that.
Yes, and you are, as you say, I feel it. You feel it more in the chest, in the heart, also probably. Okay. That's interesting. Why is it interesting? First, because I love hearing, like, we all connect to our soul in a different way, in a unique way. And our soul is also unique. So it's beautiful to see how we relate to our soul and how we feel we have a soul. And even the people we doubt have a soul still have a soul because they're still alive, right? There are some human beings out there that you wonder, like, do they have a soul? What type of soul do they have, right?
You know, Arthur in France.
Yes.
He's
He's an anchorman, like a show.
Yes, he's a show businessman. And he said that after October 7th, but it's new that he was never religious, never for him is for himself, he's just a Jew with his name, but he has a God life.
Yeah.
And after October 7th, he explained, he expressed explicitly with a lot of description, deep, that the after October 7th, he feel only that I'm a Jew. It's so painful. Why it's so painful for me? It's too much. I cannot sleep. I cannot work. I cannot eat. It's. I think the conclusion is just because I'm a Jew. And
Because he's a Jew.
Even I have like he's a public man. Even his social life is very he's very popular. He said, I cannot deny I'm a Jew.
He's a Jew. Baruch Hashem. That's beautiful. I love that also. Thank you so much. So yeah, we all have an understanding that we're more than just organs and the physical body. We have something more. We have something that connects us to other, and whether we're a Jew or not a Jew, like, we have a soul, right, as human beings. So it's very interesting to, do you need white paper? Like, no, you're fine? Okay. So this is very interesting to understand. And then what is important to understand is that it is something that we feel is ours. It belongs to us, right? This soul, it's within, it's connected to my body, but at the same time, it's separate from my body. It's separated from my body. It's within, but we also know that there is something more to it than just a connection within. There's something above that. And what is funny also is that we feel that it's, like, it's filling up the space within the organs. And at the same time, it is such an important thing. And what is important is that it's our essence. Our soul is our essence. And how paradoxical is it that we are defined, our essence is not something that we can see. Nobody can see our soul. You can go do a PET scan, an X-ray, an MRI. You can't see the soul. And yet this is who you are. The rest is just a globe. It's just an envelope for your soul, right? So that's also very interesting how HaKadosh Baruch Hu made this world that exactly, like, it's almost like a representation. We say, in the Torah, that a human being is a universe, is an olam, right? It's a world. And you see that we are created like the world somehow. What is the world? The world is a material world. And there are things that we don't see that manage the world, that rule the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and all the tools that he used, spiritual forces that he used to create this world and to make this world sustained, right? So we're just like that also. We have a material envelope, and inside we have something that is not palpable. It's invisible, it's amorphous, doesn't have a shape, and yet this is who we truly are. There is a pasuk in Mishle that says, the neshama of man is a candle of God. It's very interesting because there is only one material thing that is also immaterial. It's the flame, right? Yesterday night we were lighting up candles for the zechut, by the zechut of Rachel Imenu. What did we do? We did something, an action that is material, right? Physical action. We lit a match and it creates a flame. And then we bring the flame next to the candle. What is a candle made of? It's made of wax or oil, right? And a wick, right? Une mèche, a wick. And then you have a little flame that is attached to the wick, and the wick is attached to the candle. That flame is compared in the Torah to our neshama. Why? Because it is attached, in order to exist, it needs to be attached to the wick. The wick is like our body. Our neshama, in order to exist in this world, right? In this world, it needs to be attached to the body. Someone whose neshama leaves the body is not alive anymore, right? Same with a flame. If the flame leaves the wick, it's going to be extinguished. Does it make sense? And at the same time, you can see the flame. It really has an existence in this world, but at the same time, you cannot touch the flame. And there's another thing that relates the flame with the neshama, is that just like the neshama always wants to connect to its source, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so does the flame. It always elevates. When you have a candle, right, you can turn the candle in any ways. The flame will always raise up. In any sense, it will always go up, right? Why? Because it reaches. It's it's a mix between spirituality and materiality. It has an existence in both worlds, right? So how does it work? It works that in order for our neshama to enter this world and to be able to realize a mission in this world, because you know that, I don't know if you know, but neshamot come to this world with a mission. We have individual mission and we have a global mission, let's say, right? And this individual mission inscribes itself within a larger picture. But our neshama is responsible for one mission. It's not only one mission, it's very complex. We're not angels that we only have one mission. We have a tafkid, we have a mission. But in order to reach that mission, we have to reach many goals in our life. We have 120 years and sometimes less to reach that mission, right? To accomplish it, to achieve it. And our mission is actually unique. Hashem gave us, and many times I use this idea. Imagine that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his plan for humanity is a huge puzzle. Okay, sorry if you already heard me saying that, but it's a huge puzzle, right? This is the plan for humanity. The day you were born is the day HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided, says Rabbi Nachman Bretzlev, that the world, so this huge picture, would not be able to exist if you were not born. Without you, it cannot exist. What does it mean? It means that you have an essential piece of puzzle that you have to bring within those years that are imparted to you, right? Whether it's 120, whether it's 38, 40s. Okay, we said yesterday that Rachel Imenu lived this world at 36, right? So it's really like we have a certain amount of years, and we have to use those years to reach our mission, right? Now, we are in a world of action. We are in a physical world. How does a spiritual soul accomplishes her mission in this world? Well, she needs, it's like a hand that needs to have a glove in order to touch something super hot. She would not be able to have any action on something super hot had she not have this glove to protect her, right? So the soul is like a hand, and it enters a glove. The glove is the body. And with that in mind, we can understand that the soul can act in this world as a hand in a glove. The body is somehow like a tool, right, that enables the soul to have action. And that's one of the reasons why when we celebrate a yard site, and I know that we have this week an important yard site. Can you remind the name of?
Alexandra Esther, but Patricia Luna.
Bezrat Hashem. May she have a,
Midrasha.
may her neshama teora have an aliyah. Bezrat Hashem. So our friend Michal has a very dear friend of hers who left this world 2 years ago, this Motzei Shabbat. And she is organizing something special for her. An evening with the chizuk and probably with brachot, seudat amenim, everything. Why is she doing that? Because the soul of Alexandra Esther Chaya, is that? No, Alexandra Esther is not in the body anymore. And the soul itself, detached from the weak, detached from the body, cannot act in this world. So what do? Because we got to know that person, and because she impacted us, and because we love her, we actually take over somehow. We help her neshama have an aliyah, elevate herself. How? By doing material actions that can elevate a neshama. We're going to listen to Torah classes. We're going to eat. A neshama cannot eat and say brachot on each food. A neshama cannot put a tzedakah in a pushka. A neshama cannot give, cannot do anything in this world without being in that glove. This is the reason why we organize. We organize after the life of someone, like special mitzvot, because they cannot accomplish those mitzvot anymore. So it is our responsibility, us who were impacted by them, who left this world, to act for them, to say you are an eternal light. A neshama is an eternal light. It never extinguishes. You are not in the glove anymore in order to have action here. But I remember you and I'll act for you. Okay? And for generations. Now, there's also a second thing. And I learned that last year at the yard site of 2 little girls who died very young, the nieces of Esther Halimi. The Rabbanim explained to the mother of the 2 young girls who died in an accident, a car accident, that actually on the day of their yard site, they shed light on the people who remind them. So they bring light. They help us to elevate ourselves. So it's, there's a mirror between the material world and the spiritual world. And when we act for them, they act for us. So there is like this movement, this energy, this exchange of energies between us, between what we do in this world and between what is done in the other world. So when we act for a neshama who is not in that glove anymore, in that body anymore, that neshama also acts in order to give us strength here. And we can feel that. And that's also one of the reasons why when there is a tzaddik or that passed away, and we celebrate his yard site or the Hilula of Rachel Imenu like we do today, actually they have such a strong light that they irradiate 3 days before, 3 days after, right? So during those 6 days, almost a week, what happens? They open like a channel for those who remind them and who do something for their neshama. They actually also they pour down like spiritual strength for them to elevate themselves. So it's not a one-way communication, it's a two-way communication. Okay.
Why 6 days?
I don't know why, but I know that you can celebrate the Ilula 3 days before, 3 days after. I will ask about the Sham. Maybe it's even more. I don't know. I've heard like 3 days before, 3 days after, but I don't know exactly.
You say Kaddish for someone, it's the mom.
It depends. Like if that person is an Avel, she's mourning someone.
I'm just asking if there's a connection.
No, I don't know. We can ask Rabbi Abitbol later if you want. Okay, so this is the light within. So we have a soul within, okay? It's inside. We feel it, we connect it. We feel it in the chest. We feel it maybe somewhere else. In the tummy, you said also, right? You have butterfly in the tummy sometimes. We can also feel it in our mind when it pushes us, as Sarah said, to make the right choices or to know that this is not for me. I'm not this type of person, right? So we feel it in our mind, we feel it in our heart, and we feel it in our tummy, right? Now, let's try to understand, how did I receive this soul? How did it come into this body, right? So I want to go back to the creation of the universe. So we are speaking 85 years ago, right? And I'm going to take a very weird parable to explain it, but it's just like a parable. I was once teaching someone who was in a process of conversion, and I took that parable, and at the end of the class, she told me, oh, I had no idea that in Judaism, Hashem was made of marshmallow. And I'm like, what? Then it was just a parable, because I'm going to explain you why. So let's try to conceptualize and to grasp this concept of Ein od milevado. There is nothing but Hashem. This is the case today, but it has always been the case because Hashem is eternal and he's infinite. What does it mean to be eternal? Eternal means that he is out of temporality. He is not inscribed in time. We are, and especially women, but men also, our life is inscribed in time. There is a beginning, there is an end. There are minutes, there are seconds, right? Our life is inscribed in time, not only in time, but also in space. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is infinite. What does it mean that he's infinite? He's not inscribed in space either. Not in time, not in space. We call it eternal, infinite. It just means that it doesn't limit him. He doesn't have any limits of time. He doesn't have any limits of space. Only this concept is super difficult to comprehend, right? Because we are not living this reality. So it's super difficult for us to imagine, how can it be? How can it be, right? So obviously, because we cannot comprehend this reality, it's way more too complex for our human mind. So I'm just going to try to make parables that try to make us understand, even though like it's very different. It's very different in reality, but it's just like a little image, a little story in order to try to understand how it was, okay? So imagine the world before the creation of the world. There is apparently nothing. But in reality, there is everything. There is Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Hakadosh Baruch Hu is everything. What does it mean? Imagine a glass jar, okay? And do you like marshmallows? Yeah, yeah. No, not so much. Well, Michal and I will eat everything. Okay. Imagine those fluffy marshmallows, okay? Those old ones, like traditional ones. You stuck them inside of that glass jar and you put them all until the fluff of the marshmallow reaches all the edges of the jar. There is no space left in the jar. Imagine that marshmallow is Le'avdil Akadosh Baruch Hu, and the jar is the universe. So it's a very big parable, okay? When we say that there is nothing else but Hashem, and that before creation, there was nothing else but Akadosh Baruch Hu, it means that there was no empty space. Everything was just Hakadosh Baruch Hu, okay? But, and Hakadosh Baruch Hu, we have to remember that, is the perfect harmony between feminine and masculine, okay? He's 50% feminine, 50% masculine, the perfect harmony. What does it mean to be feminine and masculine? For us, it means something very different. It's a physical femininity. It's a physical masculinity. But what does it mean for Hakadosh Baruch Hu to be masculine or feminine? It's a type of energy. What type of energy is femininity? Femininity is the type that we call mekabel. Mekabel is an energy of making space, creating a kli, creating a space, okay, putting yourself on the side in order to let the other one exist or live. This is the energy of femininity. If you prefer to have a white paper in order to include it in your binder after, you can use those. Okay, so it's not good because we saw it in Taharat HaMishpacha. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to explain to you.
It's to make place to give more place to others.
Exactly. So it's actually it's creating a space, the ability to receive. Mekabel means to receive, right? Okay, to receive. So it's creating a space to receive. We'll see what. Okay, that's being Mekabel. What is the epitome of femininity in this world, material world, is a pregnant woman. Within herself, she's making space to let life grow. Okay? This is the epitome of femininity in this world. But spiritually, the attribute of femininity is making space for the other. Okay? This is the femininity, because we'll see that women have both. Besides Chava, who was the only one. Yeah. Okay. But what is mashpia? Mashpia is the masculine energy, right? Mashpia means it has the same root, the same shorash as shefa. It's to give, a giver. Okay? So you have one energy that makes space to receive and creates a kli to receive. And then you have the other energy that will feel that kli with something that will create together. Okay? So they complement each other. Milen.
Woman can take up this energy of Mashbiach?
Yeah, we do have both. We have both. We're not speaking about women and men. We're speaking about the energy, feminine and masculine energy. And you'll see, for instance, the energy, the spiritual energy are represented in the body by the hormones. We have feminine hormones and masculine hormones, right? Exactly that. We have estrogen, we have testosterone, right? And yet we're women. But it's all a matter of balance, okay? The first women, we're going to see that now, was only Mekabel. The first man was only Mashpia. And then they got married. They had kids. And the kids were a mix of all that. Okay? But we're speaking now about Akadosh Baruch Hu. So Akadosh Baruch Hu decides, has a ratzon, a will, okay, to create the world. Now, stick with me there. We'll go back to our jar. Remember that jar full of marshmallows? You heard that already, no? Okay, I'm making a parable between the world before creation, Hakadosh Baruch Hu being infinite, so with no limit of space, and being eternal, no limit of time. And I was saying it's very difficult to comprehend, but we're going to take an example. And I took that jar, glass jar, and we filled it with marshmallows. Okay. And we said, you see, when there is no space left, that's how Akadosh Baruch Hu was in the world. When we say Ein od milvado, there is nothing else but him. It's this concept that there's no space left. There's no emptiness. Everything was Akadosh Baruch Hu. Everything is still Akadosh Baruch Hu, but we have a different perspective today. He decides to create a world. Okay, we're not going to speak now why, but he decides to create the world. What does he do? He uses his feminine energy to make space. Because how can you create the world if you're everywhere? You have to make space for this world, right? So he uses the feminine energy and retracts. He contracts himself. It's called the concept of tzimtzum. Have you ever heard about it? The tzimtzum is a contraction, okay? So imagine you have those marshmallows and you squish them. What happens? Now you have space. It doesn't mean that Akadosh Baruch Hu is not there. It means that he made space. He retracted. He put himself on the side, right? In order to make space for the world to exist. So he used this feminine energy. And then, because when you compress an energy, and whoever did fusion physics know that, okay, I didn't, but when you compress an energy, what happens? It expands and it explodes almost, right? So that's the Big Bang theory. It's actually what we call the tzimtzum, is that there's a contraction and then an expansion of whom? Of Akadosh Baruch Hu. How does he create the world? By contracting, making space, and then he expands, and with himself, he creates the world. And that's why we say today, Ein od milevado, there is nothing else but him. Because why? Because everything is him. It comes from him. Again, we have a beautiful parable. Us women have that ability to be a parable. Why did Hashem made us become pregnant? Why? We could have just popped out a kid like that. He could have appeared. Oh, I love you. I love you. Yeah, okay. A kid comes out. Why not? Could just appear like that. Why do we have to go through pregnancy and giving birth? And it's a parable for us to understand our relationship with Hashem. The baby that is in the tummy of the mommy. You know that parable that I love that story that I tell. I'm going to say it again because I know it. The twins. You know the twins? Okay, so it's the story of two twins. One twin they are together in the tummy of their mommy. And one twin tells the other, hey, yeah? Do you believe in the mommy? What do you mean I believe in the mommy? Yeah. Do you believe that one day we'll go out of this environment, of this world, and there will be a mommy that will hold us and cuddle us and love us? Of course. Well, you know what? Do you believe that this mommy is currently feeding us, creating us, giving us life right now, each and every second, that we couldn't live if she was not sending us the breath of life at each and every second? The other one says, of course. Are you Meshuga or what? Of course I believe in the mommy. And he said, well, if you believe in the mommy, then tell me where she is. Because I can't see her anywhere.
Wow, I love it.
And the truth is, of course, you can see her everywhere. And then he goes and he sings that little song that all the kids who go to Jewish school here sing. Hashem is here, Hashem is there, Hashem is truly everywhere. Up, up, down, down, right, left, and all around. Right, here, there, and everywhere. That's where he can be found. And so is the mummy. Why? Because we are inside of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So of course we don't see him. Just like your baby doesn't see you. But everything that he sees is you. Okay, so this is a parable. This is how we can understand that Ein Od Milevado. There is nothing else but HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when he contracted and expanded, he expanded into this world. You have to imagine sparks, molecules of HaKadosh Baruch Hu creating this world. Okay? This world is Hashem, is made with Hashem, let's say. Okay? Just like a mummy creates that baby, how? Well, her cells are going to form the baby with the magic of Hashem and the seed of the father, right? But that's how it works. And what happened? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu creates this world, okay? And everything comes from him, everything is him. And when he creates this world, he first sets up the decor, okay? He sets up the decor, and the sixth day of creation, he says, you know what? Let's create a being in our image. It's interesting that Hashem says our image. Why? Why didn't he say my image? Again, because it's to refer to his complexity, his different attributes. Hashem is one, and not but, and he's multiple. He has 13 attributes of glory, and he is the perfect harmony between Mashpia and Mekabel, between masculinity and femininity in one, right? Everybody knows that. Shema Israel, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hashem is one, and he's also perfect harmony between femininity and masculinity. So when he's going to create a human being in his image, what is he going to do? He's going to create a human being that is also one, and also feminine on one side and masculine on one side, but this time physically. The first human being that is called Adam Arishon is an androgynous. Feminine on one side, masculine on the other side in one body, okay? Then, so he creates this body. But again, as we said at the very beginning of the class, a body without a soul is not alive. So how is he going to make it alive? And then in Bereshit, in the Parashat Bereshit, we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu breathes into the nostrils of that being, what? A nishmat chaim, a neshima, a breath of life. A neshima, a breath of life. Okay? And that body becomes alive. Why? Because that neshima, that really spells a lot like neshama, is actually the soul that HaKadosh Baruch Hu blew into the vessel. And so that soul that makes a body alive is the breath of Hashem. And now we're going to understand one more thing about our soul. Okay? By taking a famous parable that the masters of Chassidut take in order to help us explain. Have you ever seen how we blow glass? Yeah? Everybody? Okay. When I was a kid, I would go very often to Venezia because my father had a factory over there. And so I would love to go to Murano to see the glass blowers. And so I remember, what do they do? So the glass blowers have a pipe, a long pipe like that, right? And then they have glass in liquid form because it's very, very hot. It's boiling, it's fusing, right? They dip the pipe in the liquid of glass, right? That, by the way, looks like sand when it's not liquid. They rub it like that. They make a little ball, right? And then the glass blower will blow in the pipe. What happens with his breath? His breath comes from the deeper part of himself, right? Is the essence of the glass blower, the breath. It travels through the pipe and it arrives in this recipient, right? And it pushes and it creates the recipient, right? By pushing it like that. And what happens with the breath? It then lays, remains, sits, rests. It rests within the recipient. So let's try to understand what is our soul. Our soul follows the same pattern as the breath of the glass blower. So we have the breath that is the neshima of the glass blower, and he blows a wind. In Hebrew, ruach, right? Through the glass blowing pipe. And the same way, it comes to rest, in Hebrew, nefesh, in the vessel being formed. Now we have the three elements of our neshama. Our neshama comes from the same root as neshima, meaning breath. It's the breath of God. We have neshama, we have the nefesh, which means to rest. That part of our neshama is that part of the soul that rests in the body. It is bound to it. It is the part of our soul that is more connected to our physical body, to our physical needs. You okay? Okay. And what is the ruach? The ruach is that wind, right? Is that part of the soul that travels through that pipe between the neshama and the nefesh. Okay? So now, before we finish that class, I want to invite you to a little meditation in order for you to experience those three parts of your neshama. So I invite you to finish. I let you time so you can finish your notes, taking notes. And we are going to go. I'm trying to find a nice music. And we're going to do a little meditation. Have you ever meditated? Yes, no, no? Okay. So basically, you're just going to follow my voice and try to close your eyes, to uncross your legs and rest your hands on your lap or on the table or on your tummy, whatever you want. And I'm just going to play a little relaxing music. Okay, are you ready? Close your eyes. And this meditation is called Climbing the Levels of the Soul. Okay. Close your eyes and settle into a comfortable position. And begin to notice your breath. Breathe in and out by the mouth. We're going to expand our breath. We're going to breathe in by the nostrils on 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And breathe out by the mouth. You can feel its natural rhythm flowing in and out without any effort. Let your body relax. And feel how your muscles soften with each exhale. Every time you inhale, feel the gift of life filling you, nurturing every part of your being. This is the gift of the Nishmat Chaim from Akadosh Baruch Hu, giving you life and bringing back your neshama at every second in your body. Now bring your awareness to the area just below your chest, to the liver or the tummy. Here lies the level of nefesh, the soul's connection to the body and physical vitality. With each inhale, visualize life energy filling this area. Visualize a white light that comes in from your nostrils, travels down to your tummy, and feels life with a divine gift of life, energizing and grounding you in the present moment. Breathe out any tension. Imagine this breath connecting you deeply with the physical world and with the gift of life itself. Now shift your attention up to your heart, the seat of Ruach, where our emotions dwell. Feel the gentle rhythm of your heartbeat, each beat aligning with the rhythm of your breath. As you breathe, let each inhale fill your heart with compassion, with gratitude, and shalom. With every exhale, release any heaviness or worry, allowing your heart to become light and open. Sense how this breath is the bridge connecting your physical self with your emotional being, elevating you to a place of inner balance. Finally, move your awareness to your head, the seat of the neshama, the soul's spiritual connection. Visualize the air entering your nostrils, and reach the space of your mind, connecting you to something higher. With each inhale, you receive more clarity and insight. Each exhale releases anything clouding your mind. Here, you connect to your deeper self, the part of you that yearns for truth and divine connection, your divine soul. Breathe with the awareness that your soul is elevated with every breath, connecting you to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. As you continue to breathe, remember that every breath you take is a gift from Hakadosh Baruch Hu, who is constantly breathing life into you, moment by moment. Just as your breath sustains you physically, Hashem's presence sustains you spiritually, filling you with purpose and light. Take a few more deep breaths. When you're ready, open your eyes, carrying this connection with you into the day. How was the experience of connecting to your soul? You liked it? Yeah, it's true. Had we had more time, I would have first grounded you into your breathing. But okay, it was an interesting experience. This is the end of our class of awakening the